There's a concept that I've heard recently that goes along the lines of you need to destroy your current or former self if you want to grow. And I think this is incredibly true, and this has had a lot of utility both in my life and from the people who have also tried this. And the whole idea revolves around your current subconscious wants you to stay the same because that's how it survives. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of apprehension that we as human beings have to change, and that's an evolutionary function. And if you want to grow, you have to destroy this current slash the past version of yourself. If you want to, let's say, stop drinking, stop pornography, or any other bad habit, your subconscious will fight you against that. It will try to prevent you from changing. And I think that you basically have to be at war with yourself, because your subconscious will tell you plenty of things. It will fight against it at all costs because that is how it survives. And so to destroy your former self is also a form of ego death, because you are subconsciously attached to this version of yourself. And to grow, you have to evolve, you have to change. For instance, one thing that I have been doing recently is I've decided to stop drinking, because I believe that overall it's a pretty bad habit for my life, and I feel like the negatives outweigh the positives. And something that I've been experiencing is my subconscious is trying to tell me, hey, people aren't going to like you, you're going to lose your friends, you're not going to be able to have fun anymore, you definitely need to keep drinking. Hey, what's one more drink? What's continuing this habit actually going to do? Like, you should continue to drink. And it's doing everything it can to push me back into that bad habit, because I am becoming somebody different, and the current subconscious version of myself is fighting desperately to stay alive. And how do you combat this? Well, one of the things that I've heard for people who do this, and this also is like a basic psychology principle, which is basically just negative reinforcement. You have to show your subconscious, you have to show your mind, if you will, that no matter how much it tries to fight, no matter how much it tries to stop you from changing, that's only going to lead to more pain and more punishment. For instance, a practical example of this is always doing what you fear, because what you fear is clearly your mind trying to limit you. And for instance, I didn't want to get up early this morning. I wanted to sleep in. So what did I do? I woke up 2 hours earlier than what I normally did, and I went on a run. And eventually, if you keep on pushing this, because as you start to change, your mind gets more desperate. I'm sure many of you can probably relate to the idea that it gets harder and harder sometimes as you continue something. It's why we relapse on bad habits. It's why people return and they relapse, because in the beginning it's very easy, but as you near a breakthrough, it gets harder and harder. And because that part of you really does not want to die. And it's something I've experienced, because I have had relapses of different bad habits. But I think what's changed and why I'm currently on a much, probably literally the longest that I've ever been in terms of like cutting out a lot of bad habits, is just the reality that I recognize that what's happening right now is just my subconscious fighting to stay alive. It's not me that wants to do these things. And I think that in order to combat it, to resist these urges, whatever bad habit it may be, because everybody is on their own journey and has their own things that they need to overcome, whatever the bad habit may be, if you can recognize that the voice in the back of your head, your mental state, these things that are being brought to the conscious isn't you, it is just the part of you that's trying to stay alive. That's what I feel like you need to recognize in order to fight these things. Because if you can realize that, you're able to much more rationally reason with yourself that what's happening right now isn't what you actually want. It's what the part of you that doesn't want to die is bringing forward to try to remain alive. And I think the longer you've built a part of you, especially like bad habits, because I know many people have like watched pornography since they were young, different things. Some people have started drinking really early on. There's tons of different bad habits, but the longer that's been a part of you, the harder it's going to be to destroy and to eliminate. And there's plenty of strategies in psychology and just in the world in general that can help fight these things. But in terms of mindset, I think that for me, the most revolutionary thing has just been recognizing that I'm at war with the part of me that doesn't want to die, that doesn't want to be eliminated. And in order for radical transformation, you have to fight that entity, that thing within yourself, so you can transform into something better and something new. I think that's something that a lot of people miss. I think a lot of people focus on the streaks, and then when they relapse, I think a lot of the time, because I know when I've relapsed, I've almost had the belief that this is what I actually want. Oh, well, it's not that bad, because you give plenty of excuses to yourself. Oh, well, like, what's just one time gonna do? What's this gonna do? What's just like going to this place one more time gonna do? And when you're like in your head, you almost rationalize it that, oh yeah, this makes sense. Like, I'm rationalizing this right now. But in reality, that's not actually you. That is just your ego. That is just your subconscious self trying to not die out. And so I think if you recognize that, you can make a lot more progress. And some final words to leave you guys with would be, discipline is painful, but so is regret. So choose which pain you'd rather have. Because we as human beings are a lot more inclined to avoid pain than to seek out pleasure. And so I think if you can frame your journey of improvement, journey of self-discovery in regards to pain, I feel like you can make a lot more progress. I think when you can visualize the pain that you're going to experience years down the road, of not going to the gym, not breaking up with that person, not following your dreams, not doing what you want to do, that's a fantastic motivator. And I think a lot of people seek instant gratification just because discipline is hard. It's very hard, and I feel like until you try to do something yourself that requires a lot of discipline, there's no amount of like motivational video that's really gonna let you experience how shitty that sort of pain is. But if you realize that you're gonna have pain regardless, whether that be today or years down the line of wasting years of your life away, I think that can be really helpful in pushing you forward to the next level. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.